My fascination with space has always come from being young, staring up in the sky, and you see all the stars and you think of like how many generations of civilization has stared at those stars and how many generations have used those stars to get to where we at, and how much it just powers everything that we do. It'd be 10 o'clock at night trying to go to sleep and be like, hey, did you know?
I'm Anna Carlstrom, the owner of Auxilium Manufacturing Solutions, and we're based just south of Huntsville in Owens Crossroads, Alabama. Auxilium is a one-stop shop from engineering design to prototyping all the way through to production. So we try to offer a full range of services. We've got in-house capability, CNC machining, Cerakote, chem film, and then we have a big partner network that we can use to try to offer just about any solution somebody might need for their project.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Well, I think the biggest difference between the first space race that we had and where we're going with the second space race is cost. It's kind of an unlimited budget before. Let's just get to the moon, do everything that we can. Now we're much more cost conscious. It's gone into the private sector, and it's very, very competitive to try to do things as efficiently, as cost effective as possible. So you really need a whole different approach all the way down into your supply base in order to achieve that. And that's the niche we're trying to fall into, is being a cost-effective, low overhead and agile supplier, but still with the technical skills to be able to support the designs that they need.
We understand what our customers are asking. What's different from us than most shops in this industry, not all shops, but most shops in this industry, is we come from the leading innovators in the industry. We come directly from them into their supply chain now. So with that knowledge, it kind of helps us react and be a little bit more agile to understand the standards, to understand the requirements that they're shooting out there. And that's kind of where we fit in, where we want to fit in. And we also want to fit in a manner to help them be more producible, right? From our engineering sides, we try to work with them as much as we can to help them make more producible hardware, faster hardware, just anything that we can with them.
Lots of challenges. The biggest one is trying to stay competitive when you're only two people. So we're both wearing a lot of hats. So we really need to take advantage of anything out there that can make us more efficient and save us time.
Yeah, that's definitely where the investments in AI has come from, is to help us remain competitive. It's allowed us to compete with way larger shops than what's out there, or than what we should be competing with.
Well, welcome to our shop here at Auxilium.
Pretty much we have 5 CNCs, all fit into our tight little sub 700 square foot space. This is our oldest machine. We actually call it Big Bertha. It started life making munitions for the government. These are the Sile X7s. We worked with Titans of CNC, Keith. We worked with him, got both of these. This one come completely spec'd out. We got the fancy tool changers inside of it. This one's got the 4th axis, the whole probing setup and everything in it. We ended up getting 2 because, well, we needed 2. We were getting behind. And this one is a 3+2. So both of them come with the Syntec controllers, but this one comes with the 5th axis controller inside of it. We don't ever really have a machine down for the most part. Our first mill that we got.
Yeah, old reliable. This is the first CNC mill I ever used.
Yeah, like I said, it's great for people who's never been like acclimated to like any of the machines or anything like that. And this machine actually essentially paid for everything else. I mean, it stays constantly running, and we'll probably run it until it dies, and then try to figure out how to fix it.
But over here is where the real magic happens, the computer, where we have Cam Assist pulled up here.
We use it every single day.
And Michael can sit down and show you how it works.
We use it on every single program, essentially, if it's not directly used on the hardware itself, it's used to create the fixtures for the hardware. Here we have a part. We want it to be like we want to try to run it on our 4th axis because we want to reduce the amount of setups and we want to reduce the amount of touch time that we have on it. And we went through it and already kind of created our setup in it. So in it, where we're going to go in and use Cam Assist to kind of give us our suggestion It's used to supply runtime estimates if we need them. So now we have all of our setups in there. We definitely use it as much as we possibly can. We define all of our start planes that we want. The aerospace customers being the whole second space race, being so many diverse companies in the industry and different funding that they're getting, whether it's from private investors or such. And essentially we'll do it based off of our setups, like that plane. Their projects are, sometimes it's one piece, just one part for a fixture that they're just trying to validate that's going through tests, or it'll be, 2 or 3 pieces, or it's a full assembly that they're doing. And then we'll select that plane. We're working on that wide range, which I would say CamAssist shines most for us in that reaction time. 1-2 pieces at a time. That plane. And then run. If you take like an FTE and you set them down and you say, okay, here's all these parts. I got 15 parts for you to do, but it's like 1 part, 2 parts. That's a lot of time for non-recurring expenses that's going into somebody, which drives costs significant through the roof. But CamAssist in turn has that adaptability to be like, all right, this part, this part, this part. And then all of a sudden we're now looking at, 4 parts ready to go. And now we're waiting on machines where we were waiting on programs because of that.
A lot of the aerospace requirements, which are down to the thou or less in terms of tolerance, you got to hit these dimensions exactly. It needs to be clean, it needs to be FOD-free. All these additional requirements, good enough isn't good enough. It has to be spot on, it has to be exactly what that engineering told you to build through that design. So, being able to do that in a really small shop with 2 people, I think is going to allow us to remain competitive and be able to offer what these space companies need in terms of a cost-effective supply base. We're finding more and more that you just need to be a jack of all trades. Mm-hmm. It's not really affordable anymore to have a bunch of specialists. Everybody kind of needs to do everything. So having tools out there, AI tools, that can help bridge that gap. Someone that maybe doesn't have as much experience or as much technical expertise in an area, I think helps to produce more well-rounded employees that you can kind of plug and play. You highlight our very first CamAssist part.
Yes,
this little bracket.
We tested it full speed.
Yeah, we just sent it and we're like, wow, we got a part out and it's compliant.
Or this was the night after training. We actually put this in the machine.
The first day using it, first full day using CamAssist.
Yeah. These were some parts that we did. These required another custom fixture that we did. This one was one of the first test ones that we did. It was interesting. This was a new material that we never worked with, is we're out of phenolic. These actually went onto some test missile programs. This part actually was a part of an order that we did. These are brackets that should be going up. To do this order, it would become a rush job. We essentially stayed up 2.5 days straight to do all the parts of that entire order. And it was essentially sit down, set up the model, CamAssist on the machine right after, and then straight through the process.
We never would have been able to have that turnaround time without some help. 4 different setups, 4 different custom fixtures. Yeah,
and like 2 pieces of each part. But having CamAssist actually made that possible to react like that quickly, because it comes down to like, hey, our customer needs these, we're gonna miss a launch window. Whenever I say it's essentially another employee, like I meant it. Like it was like having somebody sit there and do, the quick little program stuff that it's just every beginning programmer should know or should start learning, and just have it already done to come back and go, yep, okay, wait, no, change this one thing to this one thing, we're good. I think AI is here to stay. Manufacturing's already been embracing AI over the past few years, and this is coming from manufacturing. We've been using forms of algorithms in manufacturing for years. It was inevitable that, CamAssist is going to come. I think that what we need to do now is essentially embrace what is coming, because from an efficiency standpoint, having AI do the monotonous work for you is the cost-effective thing.
And I think it's going to be necessary to stay competitive on a global scale. I mean, we're already feeling the effects of cheaper labor, more affordable parts being purchased overseas, and it's had a really big impact on American manufacturing. So I think here in the US specifically, we need to be on the forefront of those advances that'll help us maintain that edge.